we're going to 1, 2, 3, sync. All right. Welcome, guys, to our second ever video episode of Shit Talkin with Ellen. You may notice there's only two of us. It's me, Frankie.
And I'm Ian.
And today, we're bringing to you, well, Ian, since this is technically your segment that you're bringing to the show, why don't you introduce it to the fans?
All right. Hey, fans, all three of you. So, yeah, this is my segment, and today we're going to talk about a movie.
Movie reviews with Ian Denham.
I want that across the screen.
On the screen, it's going to say movie reviews with Ian. It might, who cares? But, Ian, what movie are we reviewing?
Well, Frankie, today, after a few weeks.
Well, no, it's the height of popularity, isn't it?
It is the height of popularity. It is the height of popularity.
Just came out 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. We're doing great. We're doing great, you guys.
Listen, and by the time this video comes out, who knows how long it's been out.
It's going to be like 3 years old.
But what movie are we seeing? Or did we see? We're watching it with you, guys.
We're watching it right now.
It's on.
Yeah,
like,
right
you can't see it. It's on the screen behind the camera.
We are reviewing the remake of It.
Stephen King's film, It. So when we say It, you're going to have no idea what we're talking about. It's fine. Who cares?
I just said it.
I did.
I just said it.
Damn it.
I feel like in Monty Python with the knights who say me, that they can't say they can't say it.
Yes.
I said it. I said it again. I said it.
All right. So if you guys don't know, we're just going to give you a little bit of a summary of It. We're not going to do any spoilers.
Do you want to give the summary right now?
Or do you want to give the summary?
I mean, I can give the summary.
Ian, give the summary of It.
Okay, so basically, there's a bunch of kids, and we're in Derry, Maine.
Do you want to be specific of the kids?
There's like 6, 8.
6 or 8. Okay.
There's 6 of them.
There's 6 of them.
There's 6
yes,
of them.
There's 6 children.
And they are all being hunted down, chased, terrorized, if you will, by this supernatural being called It. We don't know what it is, except it comes in the form of this really fucking creepy clown named Pennywise, the dancing clown. And that's basically the movie.
Yeah, that's the summary of the movie.
That's basically the movie.
We're not going to give spoilers right away. When we do have spoilers, we'll have a spoiler warning. So people can turn off the video at that point. So if they don't want the movie spoiled. But I mean, by the time this thing comes out, if you haven't seen it,
here's the thing. If you've seen, like, the original or read the book,
you know it.
You know it. Like,
so there are some changes, but I think they're good changes.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to say about the movie is that it is, without a doubt, much better than the original made-for-TV movie, mostly because it has a budget.
Yeah, it really helped with the budget. I think it was much better suited for a theatrical release and theatrical film than, say, a chintzy TV movie. Yeah. 4-hour TV movie.
Well, I mean, it does basically have the same runtime if you count it as, like, because the original event did air on 2 nights. 2 hours for the kids, 2 hours for the adults. So it basically has the same running time. I think it's just, like, the budget. And the way they
it has a better budget, and it also is, like, really, like, because it's being released today. Like, that was released in, like, what, 1990, 1993?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that
area, I don't really know.
They budget their time super well compared to the original. The original one, they have the 2 hours, and there's a lot of boring sequences in it. This one, they have 2 hours, and they maximize the use of the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Even when it isn't terrorizing the children, you get a lot of character growth from the children.
Honestly, I think this movie has way more character growth than, say, the television.
I read a couple other reviews of this movie before we went to see it, and before this one, and I think the best way to summarize this movie, if you haven't seen it and you're thinking about it, it is basically Stand By Me with horror added to it. I can agree with that. You get this bond between the children that you don't actually... I didn't get the bond. You get a little bit of it in the original, but there's more of a bond between these children. You grow to care about them. they're all equally strong in what they bring. They're not equally strong. They're all strong. They all start at a good baseline, I would say. Beverly...
Yeah, okay. I will agree to a point.
Alright, then where does the point tip for you?
I mean, obviously, Bill got, like, a lot more.
Well, Bill's also the main character in the book, too.
But, okay. Yeah, I know, I read the book, too, but I'm like, they all...
I don't know, Bill kind of gets the most development in the book as well.
I mean, yeah, because it's his brother who dies.
Exactly. I mean, they all get a little more development in the book, but it's a 1,400-page book. We don't have time for that in the movie. I will agree with you on this. Mike and Stan, have the weakest development in this movie.
Mike, yeah.
Mike is basically just the black outsider.
I wish they would have developed him more.
And Stan is the Jewish coward.
Although, from what I remember from the television series and from the book not so much, but from the television series really is that Mike didn't get that much until he was an adult.
No, Mike, really, his development is as an adult. I mean, in the book, there's a little bit more development work because there's a connection between his father and Henry Bauer's father in the book.
Right.
That adds a conflict level that isn't really touched upon in the movie because Mike's parents in the movie are dead.
Yeah.
So you don't get that extra conflict level that really, without going too deep in development, adds a depth to his character that is needed.
Yeah.
And then when he becomes an adult, he gets more character development and more depth. So hopefully we'll see that in the sequel.
Oh my god. I felt so bad for that kid.
I did.
He was a great actor.
He was
a great actor, but like, he wasn't given that much.
That's the thing. All the child actors were good.
Mm-hmm.
None of them were terrible actors. The standout, for me, anyway, was Beverly.
Standout.
Oh my god. No, Beverly Marsh is the best character.
She is the best character
in that film.
She is of the kid characters.
Of the kid, she's the best. She,
by far.
She's the glue that holds them all together.
Yeah.
She's the one that, when we get to the spoilers, I can talk more about her. She is the standout performance from that movie.
Oh,
that actress is going to become a star with this role.
I'm surprised she's not already a star. Because she, like, the one thing that I really noticed about her was, like, her power and, like, her presence. Like, she really had a presence on the screen throughout the entire film. And I'm surprised she hasn't, like, already done things.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's already done things.
That we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Or heard of.
Right.
I think one of the other big aspects that we have to talk before going too deep into this review is the setting change. So the original movie and the book, the kids section is set in the 50s. They moved the timeline up to the 80s, mostly because we can identify more with the 80s now.
Yeah.
Like, our generation is bombarded with 80s nostalgia.
Thank God.
And the generation before us...
Thank God.
And the generation before us grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so they can feel the 80s more than they can feel the 50s. Now, the generation that grew up in the 50s, when the original came out 27 years ago...
Right.
Could connect more to the 50s. I think another reason they did it, though, is they also wanted to... when the timeline jump happens, to be more in the modern age.
More like where we are now.
Like, it wouldn't be 27... I think an estimate said it would be like 2015, 2016 with the timeline that they built for themselves.
Well, that goes into, like, production of the entire movie that it was supposed to come out in 2016, 2015, but that's another story.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, the sequel has been announced. It's coming out September 2019.
I'm sorry.
They don't have an exact day, I don't think, in September, but it will be September 2019.
It's going to be Labor Day weekend.
Oh, will it?
Yes, that Labor Day weekend.
Okay, that's good.
Whatever Labor Day is.
Also, though, speaking of September, I do want to point out, it has become, at this point in time, the highest grossing film from September of all time.
Nice.
And the highest grossing pure horror film.
Really?
Yes, it's become the highest grossing pure horror film of all time.
Good for it!
And
damn!
I'm super excited about that because, I mean, the sequel is already going to be made.
Right.
But this defines that maybe the studio will give a bigger budget to get better actors. Because the kids did catch their dream actors. We're not going to touch on like the actual choices. We don't have time, but
nor the patience
to find the article. Honestly, but all the actors that the kids pick for themselves do suit the characters.
Yeah,
and if the success of this film gets them a bigger budget for better actors, or even actors that we don't think of but would be great in that film, in that role, then I'm all for it. So the success of this film will probably determine the success, hopefully, of It Part 2. Is what I'm going to call it for now.
I think they're going by chapters, so this was chapter 1.
So it'll be It Chapter 2?
Yes.
Okay. That works. So now that we've settled into that, I like the fact that it's set in the 80s.
I do too.
Because the references they make can be so
entertaining. So great.
Like,
it was so great.
I think we'll get... This isn't a spoiler, but when Eddie... not Eddie. Richie. When Richie doesn't want to fight the clown at the beginning, he goes to an arcade and plays Street Fighter. You couldn't have that set in the 50s. There's no Street Fighter. So these little things where...
Don't forget Ben.
And Ben listening to New Kids on the Block. That becomes the whole thing in the movie. That's super cute.
My favorite thing.
It's super fun.
Of all the bands...
It has to be New Kids.
All the bands.
I think the fun thing about the kids is that you think that they like each other.
Yeah, and they felt like kids to me. Like, they felt like I didn't feel like... Because when you see kids in films, you can tell they're, like, child actors. I didn't feel that way about any of them at all.
I want to give a credit to whoever wrote the script then, because they write it like kids that age would talk. The kids are supposed to be, freshmen in high school? So, like, 9th grade, 8th grade.
If I'm going to complain about anything, like, I'll nitpick and say that's the only line that I didn't know
what age they are. What their exact age is. They're around, like, entering years of high school, leaving middle school age.
Really?
I think.
I feel like they were in middle school.
Do you? Like 13?
Yeah.
They're 13. That's how old they are. They're 13. So they're in middle school.
Okay, because I felt like they were not in high school. Like, even though some of them looked like they were in high school, I know, like, that's how usually middle school is. Like, you have people that look like they're in high school.
That's true.
People that don't look like they're fetuses.
That's true. So I think they're in middle school. But if you remember what it's like to be a middle schooler, you feel like you need to rebel a little bit. Yeah, I know. Middle school's terrible. But you feel like you need to rebel. That's when most kids start swearing. Yeah. And that's when most kids start coming up with like sarcastic comments and witty comments.
Right.
And the kids talk like that, like they're in middle school. Like they should.
Yeah.
They swear a lot.
Also, that was like an 80s thing too. Like if you watch like Monster Squad, like they all fucking swear. But the storm.
They swear a lot. They have sarcastic comments like a kid would. It's not. None of it seems forced. Like, oh, this is what an adult would say in a situation, but we need you to say it. Yeah. It all feels like something that a kid would say.
Yeah, very much so. It was a really good script in general.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the script.
The screenplay is excellent for this movie.
Good.
The writing team did good. I don't know. What else do we want to talk about?
I mean, do we want to talk about the biggest elephant in the room?
Oh, Pennywise.
Yeah.
We talked about Pennywise.
Yeah.
So, the original Pennywise is Tim Curry. Everyone should love Tim Curry. If you don't love Tim Curry, what's wrong with you?
That performance.
But the problem with Tim Curry as Pennywise is...
He's too funny.
He's too funny. It's Tim Curry as Pennywise. Now, I do have to say, Bill Skarsgård, excellent Pennywise.
Yes, very much so.
However, there are moments when he is too funny, either from an editing standpoint.
I know what you're talking about.
Or, I don't know. So here's the thing. Tim Curry, I think, on his own, was funny. He was creepy, but he was funny.
I never thought Tim Curry was... Like, I didn't think Tim Curry was creepy.
I think there's an...
I thought he was weird.
I think there's an essence of menace.
I thought
Tim Curry.
Weird. Like, I personally felt like he was, like, your weird uncle, not like a mass murderer.
Now, Bill Skarsgård is creepy.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's the one thing I can say about this film. I normally do not like horror movies because jump scares tend to get me a lot.
Frankie was literally grabbing with my hand.
I was grabbing hand the entire movie. But the movie isn't scary. There were 2 jump scares that got me.
There are startling moments.
But I wouldn't say I was scared. I was creeped out.
Yeah.
The entire...
Creeped out, disturbed. Put a slash.
There's an uneasy feeling during the whole movie, which makes it creepy and makes it scary.
From the beginning.
There's no real frightening... There are some frightening images during this movie, don't get me wrong. Some very disturbing screams and ways that the clown moves around. But it's more of an uneasy feeling that you get from the fact that the town knows what's happening. The adults in the town know what is happening and are not doing anything about it. And Pennywise is running the town, essentially. Basically. So there's this uneasy feeling that at any moment these kids could get attacked and killed. Because you don't know when Pennywise is going to strike.
Right.
Bill Skarsgård on his own, creepy as hell.
Oh my god, yeah.
His smile that he uses with Pennywise is so scary.
I can't even fucking do it.
His, he like extends his lower lip out, goes all the way up, his teeth are extended out. That has to be a prosthetic teeth, but,
no, those are his real teeth.
Are they really? Those 2 buck things? Oh my god, that's really creepy.
If you look at him, like, those are his real teeth.
The makeup job is really cool.
I like the makeup. I like the costume.
The fact that they put him in like a Victorian clown outfit, because that's more frightening to me than a current clown.
Yeah.
I think the Victorian stuff is just creepy in general. I don't know what they were thinking back then, but it adds a weird vibe to him.
And also, like, to me, makes it seem like he's been around for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like with Tim Curry's Pennywise, like it
feels like he updated his fashion sense.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just like, I'm gonna get curved with the times.
Yeah, this clown, he's definitely like, you get the sense he's old.
Ancient. But going back to what you said about like Tim Curry was really funny, but it was like on his own accord. Bill Skarsgård is sometimes funny, and it's not his fault.
It's not his fault, it's the editing.
Yeah.
And the special effects that make him funny.
There was just one special effect in one editing moment.
2 for me. Or a few for me. Because the one effect is when he's running and chasing after the children, he shakes.
Oh.
Like his entire body starts to shake like that.
Choice. I don't think that was a special effect. That was just an acting choice.
It speeds up too, though, so there is a little bit of that's edited on. And if that was an acting choice to shake, it's just a weird choice to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me scared. It makes me feel like he's going to fall and collapse.
If you saw a fucking guy in a fucking clown outfit running up to you shaking, wouldn't you be like, what?
I wouldn't be scared because it's a clown chasing me because I'm scared of clowns. I wouldn't be scared because of the fact that he's shaking. That would make me laugh, actually, while I was running. Because he's shaking. Why the fuck are you shaking? Are you okay? Are you having a seizure? What's wrong with you? Problems? And then the second choice is the most unintentionally funny moment in the movie I have ever seen in my life.
My favorite part!
So I think this is where we get into spoilers.
I mean, we've kind of gotten... We
haven't really spoiled any like major plot points.
We've touched on the spoilers.
So we're going to say right now, at 19 minutes in, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear major plot points,
cut it out.
Stop watching the video. Jump to the end of the video, I would say. So you can hear all
where the end of the video is.
Yeah, we'll post the end of the video where we stop talking spoilers, so you can jump to that link. Or just go to that timetable, because I'm not doing a link. Right. Just go to that time frame. That way, you miss the spoilers. So, Spoilers starting now. So, major plot point. And a problem that some people had, some reviewers had a problem with that.
Wait. Can we talk about the spoiler about what he does?
Well, no, I want to set up the scene.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
So some reviewers had this problem with Bev, that she is super strong the entire movie. She's the strongest character, like, fear-wise.
I thought she was the strongest character in the book.
Where she conquers her fears. Well, no, yeah, in the book, but she conquers her fears faster than anyone else.
Yeah.
She is willing to fight the clown before anyone else is willing to fight the clown.
Well, I'll go power.
But then she becomes the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
She kills her father, Pennywise kidnaps her, and she becomes the one that needs rescued. I don't see this as a problem. Because while it does go to the trope of damsel in distress, she is realistically...
I don't think she's much in distress.
She's in distress, but I would say the trope is there.
The trope is that
the girl needs rescued.
Well, if we think about it, when she beats up her dad, she's conquered her fear.
She's conquered her fear. But then she becomes the girl that needs rescued from Pennywise, because after she kills her dad, Pennywise kidnaps her.
Did she straight up kill him?
He's dead. He's fucking dead. That's why she's at the end of the movie, she moves with her aunt. Her dad is dead.
I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah, there's a brief snippet where Bill says, "How are you doing with the move?" Or "You move tomorrow, don't you?"
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that because I was...
So, I'm assuming the dad's dead.
I wasn't. I just thought that he got severely injured and that she had to move.
I assume she's dead. Because that's the only reason
told somebody.
I think he's dead.
Okay.
We're going to go with he's dead.
Okay.
Or we'll go with half.
No, I like yours.
He's dead?
Like
okay.
He's dead.
We'll go with he's dead. He's dead. So, she kills her dad after he's, like, super influenced by Pennywise. Like, that's the inference. But he's also a fucking pedophile. And, like, there's super rapey vibes from the dad towards Bev.
Although, if I'm going to give the original one credit, there were more rapey vibes in the original than this one.
The original I thought was more abuse than rape. Like, physical abuse than rapey. This one I thought was more rapey than physical abuse.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, she kills her dad, then turns around and Pennywise grabs her from her bathroom.
Which was one of the jump scares.
Which was one of the jump scares that got me, because I super wasn't ready for it. But,
it's in the trailer.
Yeah, that scene's in the trailer, but I wasn't like... I thought, because sometimes there's scenes in the trailer that they cut out, so I thought maybe they cut it out.
Well, because I was waiting for her to be in that outfit and the lighting to be that way. That's how I knew that was coming, because the lighting and the outfit were the same thing, so I was like, oh, this is the part. I was kind of waiting for that moment.
Okay. But back to, like, the other reviewer thing with Damsel in Distress. She gets kidnapped. Yeah. She's the one. She sees the dead lights in it, and it's floating. She's the one that needs rescued.
Before she sees the dead lights.
Now, before she sees the dead lights, something hilarious happens. Let me get to the damsel part, and then you can talk about what is super funny for the movie. I don't see it as a problem, because realistically, the way the film is set up, no other character in the Losers Club is worth it to the other losers to risk their lives to save, except for Bev.
Yeah.
Bev and Bill are the only ones I think they would risk their lives saving, and Bill needs to be there because he is quintessentially the leader of the club, so he needs to be there to rally everyone and say, listen, Bev's gone, we need to save her. So, and Bev's the only person that they would risk saving, because Bill loves her, Ben loves her, Richie likes having her around, Stan likes having her around, Eddie likes having her around. Yeah, they all like having her around, and Mike is there. And Mike, oh yeah, Mike, I forget about Mike, God, that's how little he does in the film. I feel so bad for him, but...
Well, I think Mike, because if we looked at, like, the previous scene, Bev was the one that was like, hey, join us.
Yeah, Bev brings him in to the club, so... Realistically, Bev's the only one...
She's the glue.
Yeah.
She's the glue that holds it all together.
Bev's the only one worth it to save. Worth risking their lives to go into the sewers, into its lair, and save them. Now, before Bev sees the deadlights, she's in, like, this basin, I would say, in the sewers.
Yeah. It's kind of like the main part of a sewer.
The central complex.
Yeah.
And contemplating her escape. You don't see Pennywise, and then you see him. And Ian...
Well, first, there's, like, this giant stack of toys.
Oh, yeah, toys and shoes.
Toys and shoes, and then you have these kids these dead kids floating everywhere.
I don't think they're dead. I think they're still alive. Because Bev's still alive when she's floating. I think it's implied that I thought one of the kids was... One of them might be dead. No, Georgie wasn't floating. Georgie was actually dead. I think those kids are still alive, but maybe they are dead. I don't know.
I thought they were dead.
Okay.
I specifically thought there was a line that was like, they're the dead kids.
Oh, okay. Maybe they are dead. I didn't hear
that. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know. But
in the center,
there is this like giant, almost like, you know those circus things that...
The train
car. Train car that turns into a stage. And it pops down and there's fireworks. And in it you see Pennywise. Behind him is like fucking hellfire. I don't fucking know.
It was painted to look like hellfire, yeah.
Yeah, it was really... I don't think it was painted. It looked like he was
actual hellfire? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was painted.
No, it was not painted because I saw the fire flickering in the background, actually moving. And he's just standing there and you hear like this creepy music.
Creepy circus music.
And all of a sudden, he just does this.
He does that exact motion that Ian is doing, with a straight face.
Straight ass face, upper body not moving, just his leg.
Just his leg moving, face not moving. And my god, it is the funniest thing.
30 seconds of it, and it like zooms in on his face, and he looks like he's about to fucking orgasm.
Yeah, it's just that. And then like it cuts to Bev. Bev sees an open door. She goes to escape. And then Pennywise laughs, jumps off, and grabs her and shows her the dead lights, which causes her to float.
Yeah.
But the 30 seconds beforehand, it's just funny. There's nothing scary about it. It's hilarious.
About the whole movie.
And it's become a meme where Pennywise dances to anything. And that's a great meme. There's like 47 parts on YouTube or something. I don't know. Look it up after you watch this review. But, God, it's hilarious. Are there any other things you want to spoil about this film?
The way they did the ending.
The fight?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the fight.
Because I honest to God, like, think that if you know the book, you know what happens in this movie. Or if you are familiar with it, you know what happens.
And they kind of changed the ending a little bit.
Yeah, that's a big thing that they change.
So the ending in the book and in the original... Henry Bowers, the bully throughout the movie. We haven't mentioned him. He's the secondary antagonist to the kids. He gets dragged into the sewers by Ed.
Question, does he kill anybody in the original?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so he kills somebody. He kills his dad in this version.
I'm not sure if he kills his dad or not. He might.
He kills...
I think he does.
In the book? Or
it's implied. It's implied in the book, or it's implied in the movie, or it's... I'm not sure.
In this version, he kills his...
He kills his dad. And it's gruesome, too. He has a...
I had to fucking look away.
He has a switchblade where he sticks it up, and then... He sticks it up when it's unactive. And then he hits the button to activate it, and the blade just goes into his dad's throat. And then he slowly pulls it out.
Oh, no, he's not slowly pulling it out. He's dragging it.
And then pulls it out. He drags it a little bit and then pulls it out. And you just see the blood coming out of the dad's neck. And then you see Pennywise on TV telling him to kill them all.
Kill them.
And so...
Maybe that's their version of...
The moon.
Yeah.
In the original. But that comes at a different part. Because the moon comes when he's in the insane asylum.
But is it... Continue.
So here's the difference in the endings. In the original, in the book, Henry gets dragged into the sewers. And he's down there the entire time. And then after, he gets knocked out during the fight with the Losers Club. And then he comes to, and the town blames all of these kidnappings and all of these killings of the kids on Henry. And he gets sent to an insane asylum.
Right.
In the new one,
in the TV miniseries, he goes to the insane asylum because he saw the ghost light.
Yeah, because he saw the dead lights. He goes there.
Yes.
But that sets up a whole conflict and storyline for the second part of the book, and the adult part of the movie, of the original movie. In the new one, he follows them into its house, which is a part of the book, but not a part of the original movie. It has like a house on the street, which is super creepy. It looks like a haunted mansion.
It looks like Monster House.
It does. That's what it reminded me of. The kids go in it, and
there's a well.
And there's a well in there where they go to sewers. So they set up a rope. They all climb down into this hole except for Mike. Mike's going to go last. Henry Bowers.
That guy got to go last.
I don't know. Henry Bowers walks in. There's a fight with Mike. Mike throws him down the well, and he doesn't get into the platform. He just falls, and you don't see him.
He falls straight into that fucking well, hits the side, like
bounces off the side like a pinball, and you don't see him anymore. And so, I know it's the rule in movies. If you don't see the body, they're probably not dead. But man, how would he have survived that? I hope he's not dead, because
you know what I also just
getting rid of him as a killer in the second part would be super upsetting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with that. You know what I also realized? There's a Chekhov's gun moment in this movie.
A Chekhov? I don't know what a Chekhov's
gun
is.
So a Chekhov's gun is, if you see a gun or you see something that looks like a gun, it's probably going to be used. And it's that thing that Mike uses. Like,
the cattle killer.
Yeah,
the sheep.
Yeah. And he uses it.
They do use it on, or no, he doesn't use it, Bill uses it.
Yeah.
Which, I have to say, the standout scene for me, I don't know if you want to pick a standout scene.
Yeah.
The standout scene for me in this movie is when they're in the sewers, right before the final fight with Pennywise, as Pennywise. Bill sees Georgie walking up to him, and Bill is, like, crying because it's his missing brother. But he knows in his heart that it's not his brother, that it's Pennywise as his brother. And he's crying, and you just see tears. And they're not streaming down. They're slowly trickling down like they would in real life, which is a really cool thing. And he goes up with the gun that Mike brought, and with the one bullet they have left, he knows what he has to do. And you just see him shoot his brother in the head. And it's such a powerful moment because the entire film, Bill does not want to believe his brother is dead. And in that moment, he finally realizes, yeah, my brother is dead.
He did.
And so I have to do this. And so he shoots his brother in the head, and it's actually Pennywise. But it's such a powerful scene. That was my favorite scene in the movie.
My favorite scene was Pennywise dancing.
I picked some powerful, emotional scene, and you picked the fucking comedy.
No, my honest to God favorite scene was the projector.
Oh, the other scare that got me.
Yeah.
So in the book and the original one, they have a projector scene. I'll let you explain the new one. The old one, they have a projector scene where they're looking at pictures. And even in the original movie, it's not even a projector. It's like a scrapbook.
Yeah.
That they're looking at. And in the book, it's a scrapbook, too.
Yeah, this is updated.
Oh, yeah, it's updated. They have a scrapbook they're looking through, and Pennywise starts dancing in one of the pictures and comes up to them. But he stays in the picture, and he taunts them and says he's going to kill them all, make them go insane, and then kill them. And it's a really, like, even in the movie, in the book, it's a frightening thing. In the movie, that's actually, I think, a very, like, one of the few frightening scenes he has as Pennywise, because it's such a malicious thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
And he lays out...
Although the way that he does it is, like, he literally goes, like, you're the pole, and then I'm Pennywise. I'll kill you! Like, he does that. Like, I can't take that.
I take it seriously because I think it's one of the few moments where you see Pennywise as, like, the true character of, like, he is a malicious being that will torture his victims before killing them.
Yeah.
And so I think it's one of the few moments you see it. I mean, I think it's terrifying because he lays out his entire plan, and you see this in, like, some spy movies, like James Bond, the plan.
But he doesn't get, like, immediately.
And he doesn't get immediately taken out. But, like, you also, at that point in the film, you believe he's going to win if you haven't read the book or anything. And it's like, you think, man, he's going to win because there's nothing they can do to stop him.
Right.
They're just a bunch of kids, and he can turn them to their greatest fears. How are they going to overcome that? He's telling them he's going to make them go insane, and you believe him.
Yeah, well, he kind of accomplished it. Being honest, he accomplished that goal.
Yeah, he does make them go a little
lot
crazy.
Of them do go crazy.
Yeah.
But in the new movie, the scene is, it's on a projector this time, and they're projecting, like, the map of Derry and, like, how it works with the sewer system. And the projector starts working by itself. It keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. And then it stops to a family picture of Georgie, their mom, and dad.
Mm-hmm.
and then their mom, because apparently the picture of her hair, the wind was blowing, with her hair flowing, she slowly morphs into Pennywise.
Yes, I forgot that.
And then the projector falls, and
they kick it over to try and stop
it. Kick it over. And it just goes to random blurry pictures of him coming closer and closer. And then all of a sudden he appears and he pops out of the screen.
And he's huge.
And he's humongous. And he's literally on the attack. He's like a fucking animal trying to attack them.
That was the other scare that got me. And he's crawling specifically after Bev.
Yeah.
Which depicts her, I think, more of the central focus against Pennywise than Bill is.
Yeah.
Because he goes directly for Bev. He knows Bev is holding them together.
Yeah.
And that's why he goes after her in the second.
Yeah.
When he actually kidnaps her. But,
you know what I also thought of?
What?
The scene when they're in the house.
The first time?
No, the time when they're all in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time.
No, the first time when it's just Eddie, Richie, and Bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they all come in.
Yeah, and then they're fighting Pennywise down on the ground floor, and Bev has a pole and just stabs Pennywise in the face.
That was a really good scene because, it was, to me, all before that, with the exception of, that projector scene.
Yeah.
We saw Pennywise as, this kind of
indestructible thing.
Not even indestructible, but just, kind of this, not innocent, but, just creepy little thing. Other than the opening with Georgie.
Yeah.
Throughout this part, we've seen it as, this creepy,
clown.
disturbing, ha, ha, I'm just going to taunt you. This was the first time that we saw him, truly on the attack.
Yeah.
And his power and, what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought that was interesting. And then Bev, just fucking...
And that, makes him even creepier, because he has, a hole just stuck in his face, that scene, and he takes it out, and his face is all deformed for a while.
Yeah.
It's super creepy to look at.
And then he goes down the well, and he's like...
And then, the ending...
Yeah, going back to the ending.
They just beat on him with different objects that they find down there.
Well, it starts out after he shoots Georgie.
He kidnaps Bill. He grabs Bill. And he says, he offers the losers a deal. They can all leave. He just wants to kill Bill.
Yeah.
And then Richie, who is by far my favorite character in the movie, because he's just a wise ass, and he just keeps talking all the time. Like me, I just keep talking all the time.
You're the reason this video is going too long.
Yeah. He grabs a bat, and he said, or he doesn't grab a bat yet. He stands there and he
explains all the reasons why Bill got into this mess.
Yeah, he says all the reasons why. Bill, you punched me. You're the one whose brother died and can't accept it. You're the one who told us to come down here, and now we're all gonna die. And he grabs a baseball bat, looks at Pennywise, and says, "Welcome to the Losers Club." And they all start beating on him.
Which is such a great scene. And then he becomes all their fears, and that's when they conquer their fears.
Yeah. And then
when they see that he's destructible, he can be taken down.
He gets into a pipe, and he starts to disintegrate and disappear. Yeah, slowly. And then it's implied that they've defeated him. Then, they haven't. He comes back. They make the
spoiler alert. He comes back.
They make the blood oath that they're all kind of come back. And to fight him if he ever comes. And then Bill and Bev back. And then Bill and Bev kiss. That's a weird scene. I don't care about the love. I don't care about the love story. The problem. Okay, so not the problem, but really good things that I want to talk about.
Ben and Bev, not Bill and Bev. Ben and Bev.
Some really good things that I want to talk about for this scene.
Okay.
This whole ending sequence.
First of all, Bill Skarsgård's acting
was phenomenal
at the end. Holy fuck,
super good. The fight scene. This is one of the reasons why I love this as a horror movie compared to other horror movies. Other horror movies end with this sense of dread. There's really no happy ending to a horror movie because they want the franchise to continue. This one ends with a sense of happiness.
Even though we know it's going to be.
You know it hasn't been defeated because it's such a story that you know. But
also, he does say, "I'll be back."
He does say, "I'll be back." But you still end with this happiness that, they did it. They overcame their fears.
Yeah. We get to wait 17 more years.
Yeah.
27
years. 27 years.
22nd.
But they don't know that. They think they beat him, and you think they beat him. And they go on the assumption, yeah, he might come back. We don't actually know, but
that's the one that says when he comes back, we're ready.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that researched it. It was like, this thing happens every 27 years.
If he comes back, we're ready.
Yeah.
And it's this thing that you feel hope at the end of this, and you don't feel hope at the end of a horror movie, usually.
Yeah.
And so, I like that. Second thing I like is the foreshadowing that they do. So, another big spoiler for the second movie, if you don't know, but this was in the original and in the book. When they hear that it has come back. So when you leave Derry, you forget everything that happened there. So all of them, as adults, forget anyone.
Except for Mike.
Except for Mike, because he remains in Derry.
Dude, Mike is like, hey.
So when Mike calls them, they all get terrified. Stan kills himself from this terror. And then they do fight it. The rest of them come back. They fight it. And in the final fight, Richie dies. Or no, not Richie. Eddie dies in the final fight.
Yeah.
And so they make the blood oath. They're in a circle. And one by one, they all leave. Stan is the first to leave. Because he's the first of the Losers Club to die.
Yeah.
Eddie is the second to leave. Because Eddie is the second member to die. Then Richie. Eddie's the asthmatic.
Oh!
The one who is on the gazebo.
Oh, the mama's boy.
The one who's on the
The
gazebo.
gazebo!
Yeah, that's a super funny scene where,
Mom, you put me on the gazebo?
where he's at, like, the pharmacist and this, like, older girl tells him that none of his pills are real, they're all placebos, and then he goes to leave the house, his mom won't let him, he goes, what are all these gazebos? And he throws the pills at her. It's super funny. I love that kid. He's good.
He was a good actor.
But he leaves second, and he dies in the fight. So, it's this really subtle foreshadowing, if you don't know the story, that they're the first to leave, and there's a reason why they're the first to leave.
I mean, I picked up on that too, but I don't think
a lot of people
unless
pick up.
you know it, like, by heart. Like,
Yeah, unless you know the story by heart.
Like we do.
You're not going to pick up on it. But I like that the directors put that in there.
I do too.
And decided to do that. It was really cool. I don't think there's much to add.
Yeah.
Do we want to add a rating scale to our review system? So go ahead. Do you want to add a rating scale to our review system, or
Yeah.
you want to just So what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? I think we should do it. I hate number scales.
Okay.
And I don't think letter scales can truly
Thumbs up?
No, I would say let's do a scale of, do you watch it in theaters? Try to watch it in theaters if you can. Or should we do this? Should we do a just watch it or don't watch it?
Yeah, I like that.
Like, rent it, buy it, rent it, or don't watch it.
Okay.
Or just watch it. Watch it instead of rent it. Because rent it requires some sort of money.
Yeah.
Buying it requires money and an investment.
Don't watch it. You're not
watch it. Watch it would be watch it.
Pirate it.
Pirate it. We're not encouraging pirating, by the way. Alright. And don't watch it means, it's not worth your time. So I would say buy it. I think this movie is worth putting down money and keeping and owning it. I think that's how good it is. I would buy it.
I would buy it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we have. Your recommendation: buy it,
get it, see it, do whatever you can to see it.
Pay money to see this in any form you're going to. Pay money. Listen, I know some people don't have money. I have a lot of money, but I want to encourage people, when a movie is good, to pay something. Just so the artists that put the hard work into it, give the money. Yeah, I know actors get a lot of money and directors get a lot of money, but the little people that work on that, like the tech editors and the editors, they don't get a lot, as much as you think. So, I would recommend putting money into this movie.
Go see it. Go see it.
If it's still in theaters when this video comes out, go see it in theaters. It's worth it.
You know what? You probably still have a dollar theater around you, unlike us. Go to the dollar theater, pay $1, go see it.
Yeah, if it's still in theaters, go see it. Put that money down to see the movie, because it is worth it.
It's YouTube read that shit for all we care. Buy it on YouTube, you know.
Yeah, rent it. Rent it on iTunes. Rent it on Amazon. Whatever you want. Just do something to watch it, and I recommend putting money into it because it's worth it. It's worth the money that you're going to pay. So
it's good. It's so good.
That's the end of our movie review.
Yeah.
Our first movie review.
Well,
we're hopefully going to put out some more of these. So saying goodbye. It's Frankie.
It's Ian. Bye.